You should watch Tusk.
All right, cool. Oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
I tell you what, that font in Sleeping Dogs is tiny.
Yeah, it's a little small. It's not great on remote play either.
You did.
Probably. I don't have them up.
Yeah, you did it like late last night. I'm like, ooh, hi.
Ah.
We're coming to take you away. Haha. Oh my god, the dude, Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray looks insane. Funimation, yeah. Well,
Mm.
really? Did you watch it?
Mm. Yeah.
Marathon it? Yep, hand-drawn cells.
Yeah.
Oh, there are still parts of that that are digital. But that intro, like my jaw hit the floor. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I started yeah, I started watching it last night. Keep those eyes open.
Mm.
Yeah. Regardless of how you feel at the end of it. Like it is such a dubious title. Like it's like very I think you and I don't even have the same reaction to that and we watched it together.
Mm.
26. Is it what I thought? Oh yeah, and those look awful now. 333 is coming out in is it? I thought that was coming out like within the like March, I want to say. Evangelion 3333. It had a date on it like a month ago. Of course it did. Oh, back to 2BT. What the fuck, guys? It's been like how when did that come out? Like 3 years ago?
Mm. That's
Wait,
weird.
three How
boy.
bad, honestly, how bad could that have possibly been?
Yep.
It's all good. But yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do a teenager when you're like 90. That's a great stage name, honey.
German crossdresser?
Shut up. That cannot be her real name. Put it in Facebook. I'm going to friend her on Facebook. That's her real name.
Hold on, I got a sneeze coming.
I think
lost it. Crap.
I don't know. This is why you tune into the live stream for this ridiculous conversation we've been having.
Yeah. I went over to a friend of mine's place.
Oh, the other Jay-Z just let me know I was muted.
Oh.
We were just talking about Ava. Nobody cares.
Oh.
Well, maybe next week we might get it right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Ava 333 is still not out. That's the summary of what we just spent a half an hour talking about.
Yeah, I went over to my buddy's house and we were watching a bunch of Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Oh yeah,
That's some funny stuff.
that's some stuff.
Well, then there's another dude who does a parody of Abridged called Abridged, where it does entire sagas in like 5 minutes.
Amazing.
That's about all the
it's
content in them.
Well, yeah.
So, Target has a listing for Ava 333 on Blu-ray. Ships on or near December 31st, 2025. We're just not even, some intern has pushed that date out 3 times. We're just going to push it out to 2025.
That's priceless.
That's fantastic.
I wonder if anyone caught that. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to complain, well, that's not correct, sir.
It came out in Japan November 17th, 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, this is 3 fucking years ago.
That's amazing. Something had to have happened that was really bad.
I don't know what they hire the raptor from Archer to do the voiceover. Like, I don't.
Shinji, what do you think?
Did you guys
Shinji,
see
you have to get in the Ava.
Did you see the season 6 premiere this week?
Not yet.
No,
It's so good.
Like I miss that, and it like, well, 'cause I'm like, oh man, like trying to get my DVR back straight is driving me nuts. So I get upgraded all that hardware, and like nothing was starting yet. So I'm like, I got time. What do you mean that was tonight?
Already?
Like I missed that. I missed the premiere Agent Carter.
Oh, I still haven't
yeah.
watched that.
It was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I actually got it on. It wasn't on demand, but they had a replay on like the high channels,
Okay.
Yeah.
like ABC 3950, whatever the fuck it is,
ABC 15
on the dial. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for all you dopes that can't catch shit on time channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. Apparently, I have HBO. Like I was
Nice.
going through my channel last night. I'm like, okay.
Is it one of those free weekends, maybe?
Oh gosh, I hope not. Because that would be soul crushing. Because I mean, then I gotta start finding another HBO Go code here. But
Yeah.
but this thing, like if it's like, I was like, oh, cool. Game of Thrones is handled.
There you go.
So-
Everything is sorted out.
I can start watching This Week, Last Week, or
Yeah.
Last Week, This Week with John Oliver. It's pretty funny.
That show's pretty good.
It's really good.
All right, you gents ready to start talking about those video games?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna add something there with the hand
So
gesture.
too.
I was just thinking.
Actually, I'm on fire.
But
Just from the chest down, I'm on fire. I need to go.
It's just a monomarth. It's all good.
There you go.
time to lose the bra and blast the nips.
I All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, but Knobs, I figured it's nice to see everybody.
Hello!
I think it was so cold before 2015. I can be a little bit warmer here,
There you go.
Going around the digital room, we have Knobs.
Hello!
And we have the Hannah.
Hello.
Oh.
All right, I don't think we have anything to chat about here at the beginning, so let's just dive right into it. Knobs, what have you been playing? Now that we're done talking about Ava.
Yeah, and
Again.
our ridiculous disappointment.
In our monthly, hey, is Ava 3.33 out on Blu-ray yet? The answer is no.
At what point are we just going to give up on it like halfway?
2025.
Yeah.
2025. In the year 2525.
Yep.
Oh, that would have been so much better of a date for that dude to put up there.
Oh, that's true. I'll write in at Target.
Oh, man, now I got to get Gentleman Broncos on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that movie.
So,
hi, Boomer. How you doing? Do you see? No, can't.
oh, there he is.
It's a...
Dog nose.
Anyway, Monday night, Friday night, Battlefield bookends is... Oh, come on, dude.
He's excited about Battlefield. He doesn't have thumbs,
Anyway.
which makes it a little tough, but...
Yeah.
Just wants to stare at you.
You're creeping me out. Stop staring at me, Swan. Anyway, all right, that's enough. Go play with the big box. Where was I? Battlefield. Yeah,
Indeed.
we did that. We bookended a week this week with Battlefield. Monday night game night, still just absolute riot. We do have a new pregame Monday night game night.
Ooh.
Which now we are playing Worms.
Oh, fantastic.
Which one?
Because it was free. I don't know.
Ah.
Whatever the free one was with gold.
Whatever
And-
the Xbox One version of Worms is. Worms
okay.
28.
And whoever made the A button shoot is a monster.
That should be jump.
That should be jump.
Because I have shot myself I don't know how many times.
I'm just going to jump over the small gap. Nope, I'm dead.
Nope. We found out the holy hand grenade isn't an instant kill anymore.
Really? Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, we played. It was Tomsy's inaugural run. Scott Nintendork and myself played Worms, and I was just awful. I had never played it before.
Wow.
I was first one out. Like it was bad. It was bad, but it looks fantastic.
Oh, I bet.
So I need to practice my Worms and
Yeah.
just so I can get back in to have a respectable round because
Yeah.
it was bad.
Can't shame yourself like that.
But yeah, so that's gonna be I think our new thing that if we're there early, we're gonna play a round of Worms before we hop into Battlefield,
Nice.
and everyone's love-hate relationship with that game still going strong.
Yeah.
It'll go from Friday night we were like top of the squad, like our entire squad was like boom top at least in the top 10, all 5 of us in our squads. Like it was ridiculous. Jess Klondike joined us, and she had her inaugural tags taken and caught video of taking my tags, killing Donnie, and taking Scott's tags in the same clip.
Whoa.
Wow.
Gauntlet thrown.
Yeah, and of course, that got forward. What is
this dog doing?
I don't know.
Twitch.tv/E1M1 Networks. What is Knobs' dog doing?
All the things.
Needs to rub himself on
Write
something.
in and let us know. TVGPfans@gmail.com.
Maybe get the black light out. Maybe something happened.
You know you
Anyway.
own animals when you have a black light.
Never. Never, because your house will look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah.
It will. It's
Um,
horrifying.
But yeah, so we played a bunch of rounds. Like we play that game a lot. Donnie's over level 100 right now. We're both clocking in 350 hours, and it's just been the conversation is starting to roll like what's going to be our next game because
Winding down a little bit.
we're getting we're getting so angry and then happy and then it's like it's such a manic depressive game.
Yeah.
Like you will have rounds where you just I hate this is the worst thing ever, and then 2 seconds later you just go on a rampage and you're like, okay,
Best game ever.
I'm feeling much better with the world and you feel awesome and
Yeah. Maybe your next game is Evolve. That's coming out pretty soon.
That is coming out soon.
But it's funny because we were talking about like Tomsy's biggest concern is it's the part of Left 4 Dead that he hated the most, which is fighting the tank and being the tank, which are two things I love in that game. Like I love going toe to toe with the tank. Like that was like my favorite thing because when you put it down, you're like, yeah, I just rolled you.
Yeah, but
How do you feel?
I wonder if the Evolve's playable classes actually helps, since you're supposed to like play your class and combine your skills and do all that to fight the monster. I wonder if that eases that issue. It's coming from a guy that hasn't played it. I wonder if that would help.
I hope so because I think that could be a good substitute. But then again, you're limited by 5.
It's true.
4v1.
Yeah, you can't get kind of a good 4v4.
I mean, and that's where Left 4 Dead shined, I think, for so long because it was like, yeah, maybe we're limited. We can't be in 2 separate squads of 10 going at it.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the best thing about Battlefield is when we get broke apart.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to hunt each other down.
It's personal.
Oh yeah, it's getting loose up at A. Like you need to get over there and jump into this fury.
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, I'm trying to think where I don't know. Like I'm concerned that there's not. I mean, granted, the core group of us, which is usually like 5 people, are consistent every Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a blast, but that doesn't leave room for more people to join.
Right.
Whereas Battlefield, we can have so many people on that at the same time.
Yeah.
Like even if we just got into a rented server and just had our own peeps for an entire server.
Yeah.
Like if we could. I would be okay forking over the cash for it if everyone or more than 8 of us would show up.
Yeah, and the bad part too is like not enough people like Halo, so you can't say, well, Halo 5 is on the horizon, we'll just play that.
Yeah.
And then Battlefield Hardline, I don't remember when that's coming out. March, April, maybe. That seems like such a different game from Battlefield 4 that.
I'm kind of curious about it, but I know it's not going to be Donnie's cup of tea because he doesn't like shooting cops. Like,
Sure.
Not that you should like that, but
Well, I mean, that understandably kind of
personal politics
skeezes
thing.
people out.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that's going to be like the most controversial release of the year.
Yeah, Hatred is still probably going to come out this year, so
Well,
if that gets press, that probably will be, but Battlefield Hardline will probably get more just because it's an established franchise.
yeah.
Well, and that who's making? Isn't that the Dead Space guys? Isn't
Vicar? No,
Visceral.
Visceral.
No, Visceral was. No, that was Vigil. God, there's Visceral, and
Vicarious Visions.
whatever.
That's actually a
Whatever
company.
Yeah.
he is.
I'm just gonna look up Dead Space here.
It might be Visceral
It is.
Vivendi Universal.
because you got Volition is Saints Row.
Yeah.
Vigil is Darksiders,
Mm-hmm.
and then Visceral's got to be Dead Space, right?
Visceral Games. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted. I forgot that one of these Tiger Woods games, Tiger 10, had the Isaac Clarke unlockable suit.
Oh, I totally used that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez.
That means I need a new Tiger.
It's I don't know when that one is coming out. PGA Tour 2015 PS4. This episode is just gonna be me googling stuff.
Yeah, why not? It's why we got the interwebs, you know?
Indeed.
No release date yet. I know it's coming out this year. I just don't think they've talked about it. I'm wondering if it'll come out near E3. I really want a new Tiger. Like I really want it's been long enough. Been long enough that I need to sink my teeth into a golf game like that. And the golf club didn't really meet that. There was something was off about that game. I don't know what it was.
Well, it's because it didn't explain itself.
Well,
I mean, there was too much gray. There was too much gray area, and I didn't feel like putting the work into figuring out how to play that game.
Yeah, and I didn't have enough fun hopping in and like designing a course that I thought I would. I don't.
Yeah.
There was something off about that game. It never really clicked with me.
I think it could have used a little more play testing, but that's just my own opinion.
Yeah.
And not shared by my employer or anything. But but yeah, like I mean, Power Star Golf is it's quelling the anticipation a little bit,
staving it off.
But like I want those courses and just the control of a Tiger game just is so it's fascinating. Like this, like the stuff you can kind of do it a little bit in Power Star Golf, which is checking a shot up and stopping it and knowing how to play the wind, and it has a lot of those elements, but it's not quite there. Well, it's a little too cartoony.
Well, and I want the visual fidelity of a golf game on my current gen consoles. Like the Golf Club, to go back to that game looked pretty good. But I feel like a Tiger game, whenever a new one of those comes out, especially on a new console, and they didn't have one at launch, so they've had now a year to kind of polish all that up. That should look really great.
Oh, let's hope. Let's hope, unless they're going to jump the shark with it, which I hope they don't. Because
I mean, the last couple have been pretty good, even though they've been pulling away from being associated with Tiger. Like the what was that last one I played? The Masters one.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they
oh my God,
represented the Masters in it.
I hope it has a country club. I so hope it has a country club
again.
Yeah.
I hope they have pin packs, man.
Yeah,
gotta get those back in my veins.
That was an addiction for you guys.
That was bad. I spent money. I will now that we are far enough away from it, I will admit to the TVGP community, I spent some money.
Oh, I think we all did, because you're like, I just need this one pack for this course to get unlimited play on it.
$20, sure.
Like, yeah, sure, give me 9 pin packs, just bring them right in.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm one of the games I'm really looking forward to, this year is a golf game from EA.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Since it's the only sports game I really play is that.
Well, I feel like we know the physics now. Like they haven't changed the physics in the last 15 years for Tiger, and they're still solid.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I'm pumped for it. Even though we're talking about a game that we have no idea when it's coming out or what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Lastly, this week I played a lot of Sleeping Dogs.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm a super cop.
Of course.
Well, yeah.
That's
what else would you be?
I'm only level 5 in my triad skills. Like, I had way too much fun just running into alleys and beating up dudes and hacking a camera.
Yeah, those are triad comes at some point in the game. I don't know if I was doing more triad stuff or it just accelerates later, but at some point you're just getting triad points like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I found all the shrines, so I got the full health bar,
nice. That helps so much in that game.
Yeah, because I find myself like I did trying to do that one mission, one of the exclamation point missions where it's the death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh yeah.
Where you get poisoned if you get cut by a knife. Get cut by a knife. But yeah, like I can't beat it. Like it's driving me crazy. It's like kill 30 dudes, and I can't hack them fast enough with that golden cleaver. Like it's so frustrating, and like it's something about the timing with the counters and that just really isn't snappy enough for how I want to really just bull rush that game.
Well, the problem too is I think you played Shadows of Mordor a lot, and that has like if you look at Batman and you look at Shadows of Mordor and you look at Sleeping Dogs, they all have counter systems and they all have very similar like hand-to-hand combat. but each one, Batman and Shadow of Mordor are a lot closer together on the spectrum, and Sleeping Dogs is much further out, where it's not as snappy, but I think it's really satisfying, but it takes a while to get into the groove of here's when you counter, here's how you can counter, here's how many times you can hit a dude, stuff like that.
Well, and a lot of that is the timing of that combat is like, I'm like with Shadows of Mordor and Batman, at some point I'm always expecting to be attacked, where I'll stop and I'll sit there, I'll do the counter and be like, and no one's coming at me. I'm like,
just doing that,
there's
back to
9
back.
of you. How are none of you taking a swing at me at this point?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's where, like, I just feel like I just wasted, and then I get into another combo, and some dude just jabs me. I'm like,
the other Jay-Z in chat also brings up a good point. You put almost 0 guys through radiators in Shadows of Mordor. That's a fair point. I mean, it's surprising in Sleeping Dogs how many people that you either murder or just mangle their face by shoving them into like an air conditioning unit.
Air conditioner, or slamming their bodies on a pallet of swordfish heads.
Yeah.
That one, I was like,
so much
why
fun.
is this highlighted? Oh,
that escalated.
Oh, that can do that? Or here's a box full of glass. Like,
it's like a WWE wrestling match.
Oh, it's a hardcore Holly match.
Yeah,
like
somebody brought in a box of glass. Whoa!
It's a box of glass match.
Here comes, here's your sheet pans. It's a ladder match.
Yeah.
But I love chucking people off of roofs or into the water.
So good.
Like, I just grabs, that animation when you're running with the guy is like...
Yep, just like dragging him by the shirt, his collar on his shirt, just whoop.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. Yeah, like driving that game, like I love getting cars from that guy. I used to be an investment banker. Now I hit a button for your cars.
Yeah, yeah, that guy's so
that
great.
guy's the best.
I wish I could have your life for just one day.
Yeah, he's so sad.
Have you found any of the interesting outfits in that game yet?
No, I really haven't gone to the stores, like, at all.
It's a shame. My favorite is the, like, straight up 80s, like, Japanese, like, biker gang dude.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? I just posted a link to it in Twitch chat.
No, I haven't seen that one yet. I've been running around in the wedding was surprising. I did not see that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was rough. Like, that
was real bad.
Like, that was rough in the game, and then you get that tux. I've been rolling around in that tux the entire game.
Nice.
Like bloodstained tux?
Bloodstained tux.
Yeah. Awesome.
I really liked, I think that's the point where the story in the game kind of turned, because it really went there with like the Hong Kong action movie storyline at that point. Like it was sort of like, you've had the normal beats, you're building up this gang, and then this happens, and then now you have this whole other reason for kind of going through the game.
Yes. Well, it sort of like propelled you forward in a really good way.
Yeah.
Thing, like, it has all the tropes. It definitely has the possibility for all the tropes for an open world game to be stale.
Yeah.
But the missions are so varied, and the street races with the flares on the side of the road might be the best thing they've ever done for an open world game. For
absolutely.
You
have no doubt as to where you're supposed to go.
And it adds this, oh man, like this style to it. Like, you're like, yeah, this totally feels illegal.
Yeah. Like someone just threw down a couple of flares and then ran away before someone caught him. Now go race.
But it just has a great look, and then buzzing through the city on these things, like it's great.
It's gorgeous too.
It's one of the few games where I've actually played a racing mission and kind of had fun. Like when I played the original version, I did all that stuff. I don't think you get great rewards, but who cares? It's kind of fun.
Yeah. It is fun burning through those cities. In those laps, and I like when you pick the mission, it actually shows you the outline of the race you're going to go on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, that got way too many hairpins, and I don't want to drive through the mountains.
Or like, this is going to take me, I'm doing a bunch of missions here, this is going to take me to the other side of the map. I can't do that right now. I got stuff to do here.
Oh, I failed a lot of missions just getting sidetracked by tchotchkes sitting around. I was like, ooh. let's go get this camera. Ooh, there's a box here.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing for them, but
I gotta get him.
and even like the lock picking is a great mechanic.
Yep.
The hacking system is
That's pretty
fantastic.
fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Just because I always go 0, 1, 2, 3, and then go through and then like, okay, I got 1 here. I'm gonna move this to the first spot, then 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
There's no way to fail at it if you look at it like.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
just
and you feel like you're not
numbers.
guessing. You're
Yeah.
not just like 1583. No, that wasn't it. You know, like there's an easy way to kind of go through it and figure it out.
Yeah, and same thing. Like I really like the actual padlock on the things where you have to rotate it different ways. I was like, it's brilliant. Like how has that never been in anything before?
There's so many really great small decisions like that where you have to, normally when you come into a game and there's like some lock picking mini game, you're like, oh god, oh, this is gonna be the worst thing. I'm gonna have to do it for the next 40 hours for even like a mission where it's like, go in this locker. Oh, of course that has a lock picking mission, but it's actually fun.
But there are things at times where you think like, I don't want to do it. Oh, I'm just gonna kick the door down. This is great.
Yeah. Whoop, done.
I love throwing a boot at a door.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And the karaoke is surprisingly fun.
That was pretty entertaining.
Yes, and what's so funny about it is he's so deadpan when he's singing it. Like, he's not even trying.
Oh, and the whole girlfriend things in that game have been hilarious.
Yep.
Like,
A little
I didn't
weird
even know,
of a system, but kind of funny.
like, I didn't even know, like, we were dating.
Yeah, and then
Like,
Emma,
the karaoke hostess, like, she was pissed that I was talking to this girl that was called Not Poe. Clearly, I don't know this woman's name. Why are you upset about this?
Yeah, and then like Emma Stone is calling you up saying you're not dating anymore.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Man, you're making me want to play Sleeping Dogs again.
Yeah, I kind of want to pop that back in.
Like, I feel bad that I didn't play this game earlier.
That's
should.
what
No,
we've
I
been
bought
telling
it.
you.
I know.
Well,
and I'm
and-
probably going to have the same reaction to Tomb Raider when I finally throw that thing in.
Probably.
I just installed that. I didn't get a chance to play it, but I just installed it on Steam because I forgot I had it.
And the crazy thing about the definitive edition for Sleeping Dogs is you have all the DLC, none of which I've played.
Well, I will check it out.
Let me know how it is.
It depends if I still have that itch. Like, if I feel completely satisfied by the ending,
Yeah.
I might be one of those ones like, okay, I'm
good.
out.
That's why I never really went to it, because I finished the game and I like where the game ended itself, and I said, okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna put this down.
I do feel like I learned a lot about triad culture in this game, though.
Yeah,
like
it's
I didn't even
very
know there was like
informative.
a thing called the Red Poles. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're like the captains. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's very
I think
informative game. Yeah.
But everything else, I mean, the voice acting's been top notch. Talk about a gaggle of characters in that triad.
Oh, yeah.
Like the broken nose lady, Two Chins is the big fat guy. Like I literally was like, ah.
It works on so many levels.
Yeah.
And what was the one guy's name? Like Uncle Poe or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was that great old crotchety guy that I love him. Like
so
I
good.
was so sad when he died.
Yeah. Oh, that game is so good.
Like I'm about to do his funeral mission, which let's wrap this up.
Okay.
That's what I've been playing.
See you all next week.
Hey.
All right, Hannah, what you got?
I only played a couple of games this week. I was feeling kind of lazy. I watched a bunch of TV and movies this week, but I played a bunch more Nidhogg because I can't get enough of that game. There's something about, like, I can't seem to get, like, the disarm down or, like, figure out how to avoid being disarmed. That seems to be what kills me most often. I think once I crack that nut, I'll be able to, like, really decrease the amount of time it takes me to burn through single player.
Yeah.
I can get through, like, the first 4 guys pretty quickly, like, probably under a minute now. But, like, the rest of the dudes, it just gets really, really crazy. I think, like, once you get to the 5th guy, he starts figuring out that, like, oh, you jump kicked over me? Well, I'm just going to turn around and throw my sword at the back of your head.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But yeah, playing a bunch of that. I started playing Final Fantasy VII again, because why not?
Yep. Why
Because I was just like, I don't know, I was kind of like, I don't really feel like playing anything.
There's
So I was like,
certain
all right.
games, man, we have problems with. Like,
Yeah.
there's always something that just pulls us into this.
Well,
Like,
it's like
I'm scared to death to download Pinball Arcade because I know where that leads.
Be strong.
yeah, you should be scared to death. I forgot I even had that on my Vita. I would have played that instead. Instead, I started a new game of Final Fantasy VII because that's just one of my comfort food games, I guess.
Yep.
I was just like, I need something that I know and I can just play and not really have to pay attention to. Yeah, it's still Final Fantasy VII. It's still fun. But I didn't play a ton of that, and it's been talked to death anyway. What I played a ton of this week, though, is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You sent me a
Dark
text,
side.
I think it was last night,
Yeah.
about the mission you did. I don't remember the name.
Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts.
Yeah. That
The midpoint, I think.
basically the midpoint, yeah.
Yeah. That's such a cool mission.
Yeah. I think the part that made me so happy is, the game, as the Inquisition gets bigger, a lot of people keep telling you, like, we need to be more of a political force because we're getting so big. And that mission is very clearly, like, politics, political intrigue, let's do this.
Yeah. Like it actually makes it fun and entertaining, and it intersperses combat at just the right moments to make it not just this boring like talk to a bunch of people mission.
Yeah.
Which I could have easily gone that way.
Yeah.
I love being able to have conversations with all your party members while you're there. That's a ton of fun. The party I bring out everywhere is Dorian, Iron Bull, and Cassandra.
Okay.
Those are my go-to.
That's a very
people.
diverse motley crew.
It's a real motley crew, man. It's great. So I've got Cassandra tanking everything. You've got Dorian doing all, magic elemental damage, and Iron Bull just wrecking everything in his path. And I just stand off to the side and shoot.
Yeah.
But I finished. I'm level 15 now. I've just put my last point in the archery tree, so I have that completely filled out now.
Okay. Did you get your specialization?
I'm working on that now.
Which one did you pick?
I went for assassin because duh.
That is a good choice. I was torn between that and something else, but as an archer, on Nightmare, once I got assassin and once I respect my tree, I absolutely murdered the second half of that game.
Really?
And there's two skills, and this is a fun let's break the game tip for everybody playing Dragon Age as an archer.
All right.
There's a skill where you mark an enemy. It's called, I think, Mark of Death. And you put the mark on an enemy, and then like 6 seconds later, it basically redoes all of the damage you did between when you set the mark and when it expired.
Oh, God.
Then there's another skill that's higher up in the tree. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like a bunch of cuts.
Yeah.
And upgraded, it does 6 attacks at once. So what you're able to do is put the mark on there and just dump damage. Yeah. And then it doubles that damage at the end of that mark.
Okay.
So I'm just taking down every boss. Like you put that on there, you're critting like mad, and then at the end of it, it just dumps like 50,000 damage on an enemy. And I'm just like, all right, all done.
Playing the archer in this game reminds me so much of playing a hunter in WoW. It's all about your shot rotation. It's all about, and like I even have equivalents of like feign death. Like I can just disappear and move out of the way because I'm pumping into the subterfuge tree now.
Yep.
Oh, you puss.
Hey man, glass cannon.
I lose all aggro and all like poison effects if I drop into stealth.
You'll probably crit the first attack that you hit coming out of.
Yeah, which is almost always the I can never remember it.
Long pull or whatever it is.
Yeah, that really crazy damage dealing one.
So have you all of your party members should have their specialization trees. Have you gone through and respect them?
No, I have not.
I would recommend doing that. I didn't do that my first playthrough, but what'll happen is they really, if you auto level, they haven't been spending points in their specialization tree because they've been focusing on another tree. Yeah. And each one of those respec necklaces is only like 350 gold.
Yeah.
Once I did that in my Nightmare playthrough, it made such a huge difference because they're a lot smarter about, I'll just take the stuff I need from this tree and then I'll take all of this important stuff from my specialization tree.
So I can like re-auto level.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And they
cool.
do it way smarter because now they have another tree to do it with.
I'll have to double check that. I might do that because I've got at least 2 of those necklaces in my inventory because I know I'm gonna want to respec after my specialization
Yep.
clicks.
The first one you can buy is only a gold.
Yeah.
And you can get that from that shop that's near the blacksmith.
Yeah. Well, there was also one that was at like 345 gold that says like infinite uses.
There's infinite numbers you can purchase from them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
That,
Okay.
Another interface weirdness.
Yeah. Okay, that
Yeah.
was confusing.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just get a bunch of those. It's not like I'm hard up for money or anything.
Yeah, for 350, like you have 30,000 now. Like that's a drop in
Yeah.
the bucket.
Yeah, but like my main goal for this game now, so I finished that midpoint mission, which was amazing and just a ton of fun. And there's so much going on in that mission, and if you uncover all these different clues, I was glad I was able to like choose the correct path for my character.
Yeah.
Like there was I was originally like, okay, I'm gonna go this way because this makes sense, and it's the thing Leliana suggests.
Okay.
When you have to make that choice, it's like, okay, who are you gonna back?
Yep.
And she's like, well, you could do that, or you could do this. And I was like, you know what? You're smart. I like you.
Yeah.
Let's do that one.
Right.
Because it covers all my bases.
Right.
And then you find out, like, I was like, yeah, that's not going to work for me anymore because dude's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to not do any of that.
We're going to go a different direction.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out. And I was like, okay, I like the way this resolved itself.
Yeah.
So now I've got to rebuild power because there was all these little spots on the map I wanted to unlock. I just unlocked I can't even think of the name of the stuff, but like the Emerald Graves was one of them.
Yep. Probably the Hissing Wastes.
Yeah, I think I did the Hissing Wastes too. And then I just started doing, because I had to take care of a bunch of stuff for recording, but I just started putting my agents out to do like the little missions on the map. I've got like maybe 10 or 15 that I have left to do.
Yeah.
That are new. So now like I'll like have played catch up to the point where I can just like every time I get new stuff, I'll just visit the war room, put them out on those, go back out and just wait for them to finish up.
Yeah.
And there's some repeating ones I saw too, like where you can get like materials and gold and things.
Yeah, those ones will always hang out, and there's some like really important ones that will just kind of hang out in the map for a while. I never really figured out why that is. I'm assuming because they're either important to the storyline or whatever happened in those ones, you want to keep your choice in mind for another one down the chain.
Yeah, but what I've been doing for that is just to make it quick on myself, just going from the bottom up on each side of the map, just like, okay, lowest and then next, and then just go straight up. And I've done Ferelden. I need to do the rest of Orlais.
Yep. Have you been judging people on the throne?
Yeah, that's the other thing I need to go back and do.
What else are you supposed to do on the throne?
Well, it's kind of funny because once you... I don't want to spoil anything. There's a point where you actually get a throne, and one of the very first things they say is like, well, go sit on the throne and judge someone. And I was just
it's like the dumbest thing ever.
And I was just like, what? And there's a very funny... Your first judgment is very, very funny.
Yeah, I did that one.
Yeah, and basically, you should have a bunch more if you finish that last quest. Okay. And depending on how you finish that one, I certainly don't want to spoil anything for the listeners, but there might be... whoever you need to judge coming out of that mission can either be really sad or really funny.
Nice.
But it's this interesting thing because you can sit on your throne and one of your advisors will present the person that's in custody, and then you just get to make a choice. And none of them are really good, and none of them are really easy. And it seems like one of those weird things that would carry over into Dragon Age 4, where it's like, well, this person is no longer there because you sentenced them to death when you decided their fate. So, sorry.
Well, and the dude from the one mission, I didn't kill him, and I think that was the right choice. Mm-hmm. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, you're too useful. I'm going to keep you around.
I took advantage of that during most of the game where there's a lot of people that are really useful to the Inquisition, so they get to work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to put you to work. I
was really happy with the cameo in that Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts mission, too.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was like, wait, you're here? Okay.
Yeah. That becomes that character sticks around, which was very nice.
Yeah, which is that's a nice little nod back.
Yeah.
Um, one of the other interesting things is like I started romancing the what's her name, the diplomat Josephine.
Josephine. Yeah.
It just sort of happened, and it was like, oh, okay. It felt natural. It wasn't like well, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I was real close to kicking Sarah out of the Inquisition because I hate her.
She's the worst.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
She's awful.
Yeah, she's the
like,
worst.
Oh, I messed up. Oh well, and I'm like, no, you don't do that.
No, you might have to go.
Yeah, and I kept her around because I was like, I don't want to kick her out because she might just become an enemy, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when you kick her out. I didn't kick anybody out of the Inquisition.
Yeah, I gotta start interacting with some of those characters more. Like I haven't talked to Solus or Cole or any of those people since I got to Skyhold.
Oh yeah, because each one of them has. Now that you're there, and now that you're sort of the majority of the way through that game, each one of them will have their own loyalty missions. A lot like Mass Effect 2 did.
Yeah.
Well, you have to take them, and you'll have to go somewhere and do something very specific. Iron Bull has. Did you talk to Iron? Have you killed any dragons yet?
Not yet. I'm about to try the one in the Exalted Plains, but I have to respec Dorian first because he keeps throwing electricity at it like an idiot.
Ah, yes.
So you just see this massive attack go up, and it's just like immune.
Yeah. So after the first dragon you kill, go talk to Iron Bull in the bar and have a drink with him.
Nice.
It is one of the funniest things in that game.
Yeah, well, that's why I started to hate Sarah, because I did her quest, and I was like, "This is your fault. This is entirely
all of this
your
stuff
fault.
is your fault.
Why am I here? You're literally wasting my time."
Yeah.
It's like you have good contacts, but you are just like a petulant child.
And she's insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, entirely, and not in the fun, goofy way. And
not like Jack in Mass Effect 2, where it's like, she's kind of crazy, but she's not that crazy.
She's crazy, but she had her reasons.
Yeah.
She's just crazy. You were an orphan and then you got raised by rich people. That must have been awful.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. So weird. Man, that game is good.
This game is so good. I'm really glad I started playing this out of all the games I got for Christmas first, because I'm right there with you. I'm only halfway through it. I'm like, yeah, this would have made my list had I played it sooner.
Yep.
It just came out at a really weird time of the year. And it's so long. I'm 40, 50 hours into the game.
Yeah, and you're at the halfway
which is
point.
insane.
Now you know why I played it for 100 hours in my first playthrough. There's just so much to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to clear out the Exalted Plains right now, because that and the Hinterlands are the biggest ones on my list. I don't want to go back to the Hinterlands. I finally got into that second area of Exalted Plains where you have to do that mission on the map and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool. Actually, that was really cool because there was a puzzle in where you've got that statue and you've got to light all four of the portals.
That puzzle was cool.
That was awesome.
Yep.
It took me forever to figure out the last part of it, lighting that fourth one up, because I was like, what do I...
There's nothing else. What?
And I eventually ended up just going okay, and I just wanted to know the next step. What do I have to do? And it was like, hey, you know that gate you opened? Maybe leave someone in there. I'm like, okay. And then it naturally came from there.
The other Jay-Z in chat says, Dragon of the Exalted Plains is the name of my new metal album. It's a pretty good one.
That is a good name.
That sounds like a Rhapsody of Fire album.
Yeah.
That sounds metal.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, if you finish it by the time we do a spoiler cast on Pup, I will definitely invite you, because it sounds like all four of us have had pretty different playthroughs at this point.
Nice. Yeah, it's been a ton of fun, and I think I'm hopefully going to finish up a lot of it this week.
Yeah.
So.
What's the next main story mission you have? Do you remember the title of it?
I don't remember the title of it, but I have to meet the guy and Varric at the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And don't forget, too,
I like that was enough information.
Don't forget, too, that after you beat the game, it will just dump you back in the world to finish up any side quests and everything.
That's good to know.
So don't hesitate to kind of just
rush it.
finish out the rest of the game, and then you can just clear out the rest later.
Because I'm playing it on the easiest difficulty, and I'm level 15. I could probably finish it at this point.
Yeah, probably. You can. The nice part about every dragon that you kill. So here's a pro tip for anybody that's listening: if you're going to go fight dragons, make sure you have a lot of inventory space open, because if you don't loot them right after you kill them, the thing that they leave behind disappears forever.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and they drop like really great schematics, great purple loot, like a bunch of really rare materials.
Nice.
So it's definitely worth it.
Are there like a limited number of dragons in the entire game?
There's only 10.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
And also there's a bug with the trophy for killing all 10 dragons. Don't kill the Crestwood one last.
Oh, okay.
And if the trophy doesn't pop when you kill the last one, reload your last save game and kill the last one over again.
Okay.
So what's weird is that 10 dragons thing is cumulative across all playthroughs.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason it's bugged where it seems like it doesn't count the Crestwood dragon as one you've killed. So you go kill another one, it's like, yeah, you got 10. It's like, well, okay. So, very weird.
That's super strange. But yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with this game, and I can't wait to see how everything pans out.
Yeah. Very curious to have a spoiler cast to hear what everybody thinks of kind of how the back half of that game turns out.
Yeah. But that's all I've been playing this week.
Drop my pencil. I platinumed Dragon Age Inquisition.
Sweet.
That was 160 hours total. I took a really long time, so not everybody has to go that long. But now I'm finally free until the DLC comes out. And after I finished that, I kind of didn't feel like playing anything this week. Like when you just get so neck deep in a game and then you kind of finish it and you're like, well, I don't want to play anything else now. Like I installed and patched Wolfenstein.
Nice.
And I opened it up and I got to the main menu and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game takes a little time, but I know how you feel because I felt the same way after Shadows of Mordor. It had sucked all the energy out of me.
Well, and like I looked through my list and I have The Wolf Among Us Season 1. And this is all like physical PS4 games. I have Shadows of Mordor, Wolfenstein, oh god, I have something else, Drive Club, and then I still have Sunset Overdrive to play. And I looked at all these, I'm like, all of these games are amazing, and I don't want anything to do with any of them. So I figured that after a couple days, I'm like, all right, I have to play something. I need to play something. So I figured that I would finish out Costume Quest 2 on the PS4.
Ooh, okay.
Because I figured at this point they probably would have patched it for the frame rate issues they had. That would be incorrect. There are no patches, and there are still a lot of frame rate problems. But I finished it. I got all the trophies because that was really easy.
Yeah.
And the game was like, the only word that I have to describe the game is that it's fine. Like that game is fine. Like it's not bad. It's not great. It didn't really click with me as much as Costume Quest 1 did. I feel like I had a lot more fun with how that game presented itself and kind of how funny the storyline was. They're still very much kids' games, so you can't really get upset about it. But they tried to tell this time travel story in it, which was fine, but the game's just fine. I feel like if the frame rate issues, because the frame rate is so bad in certain areas, like it's 10 to 15 frames. Like it's really, really bad. If they would have resolved that, I probably would have had a little bit more fun with it, just because I wouldn't have had any technical issues to overcome.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I feel like, we talk about it a lot on Pup, but the first Costume Quest is probably one of the best intro RPGs that you can play. Because it's very much guys line up on the left, guys line up on the right. It's turn-based, but there's also that kind of Super Mario RPG. You can defend and take less damage if you hit the button at the right time. You attack and do more damage if you hit the button at the right time. And the game's never that hard. it's still very much a kid's game. So even when the game gets really hard, you just kind of maybe either wore the wrong Halloween costume for that battle, or you just kind of made a mistake. And you can try it a second time, and then it's fine. I really wish that it didn't have those technical problems on the PS4, because I kind of can't recommend it as much as I could on the PS4 as much as I could. It ran fine on the first one ran fine on 360.
Yeah.
And they look pretty much the same. So I feel like if anybody wants to play them, just play them on PC. They're so cheap nowadays, and the first one I think is like 4 hours long. I got all the trophies in this one in like 6. I mean, they're you can sit down and beat them in one sitting if you really want to.
It really just feels like a game that didn't need a sequel.
Yeah, I think that's kind of I was thinking that today, and I was sitting down and I was thinking about that today when we had gotten back from walking the dog, and like I was trying to figure out why I felt kind of about the game. Like why do I feel so really middle of the road about a game where I really loved the first one, and I kind of likened it to Peggle 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like that game is fine, but you don't need it. Like this other game was good enough to say, well, we got one of these, and it was really great, and it was kind of a flash in the pan, and now we're good. Like we had the one, and now I'm good. Like it'd be like making a Rez 2. Can it ever live up to the sameness of Rez? Probably not, because it would probably be, oh, look, it's the same thing, just now more Egyptian tombs and 5 new songs,
Yeah, and that's why A Child of Light worked so well, because it wasn't a true sequel, it was just a spiritual successor.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So, it's fine. I'm sure it'd be a lot more fun and a lot more snappy on PC.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the first one is great, and I still think it's the perfect starter RPG. And it's cute, and it's fun. It's about kids dressing up in costumes, and every time you go into a battle, it changes you from like the crappy tinfoil robot that you look like in the world, and it turns you into this giant hulking death robot that the kid feels like, and then they do all these crazy laser attacks. It's fun, and it's a great idea. It just, I don't think they needed to do it again. Yeah. And I hope they don't do it a third time.
Oh, no,
it doesn't need to.
No, not at all.
So, but I gotta find something to play, man. I don't want to go back to something that I've played before. Like I could play more Sleeping Dogs. I could play more Spelunky, but I kind of don't want an open world game, because Dragon Age I'm okay with that for now. I don't want to go back to something I've played. So I was talking to Hannah before we started recording, and I got all this hardware to be able to stream my PS3. So I think I'm going to start playing Tales of Xillia.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to go Wolfenstein.
Well, I think I'm going to play Wolfenstein because I think I need a game that, not necessarily that it's linear, but it's a reasonable amount of time. I'm kind of looking for that 8 to 10 hour game.
It's a fantastic palate cleanser too.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of heavy lifting in it. It's just rock solid, and it's fun.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to stream Tales of Xillia, because I feel like I need a JRPG to really sink my teeth into, and I feel like when I'm ready for that, a Tales game is usually a fairly good point to start on. And I haven't streamed anything in quite a while. And then I'll probably start Wolfenstein once I can get like a little bit of time to kind of sit down, where this weekend has been a disaster for getting free time. So hopefully whenever I can get a little bit of time to kind of sit down and start diving into a game, then hopefully I can work on that. But that's all I played. So let's take our first break.
Sounds good. I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, it's still raining. It's actually getting rain now. It's crazy. Let's see if there's any last minute news stories. Awesome Games Done Quick raised $1.5 million.
Wow.
It's their largest yet. Oh man, Saints Row Gat Out of Hell comes out soon.
I know. I'm actually that's kind of the game I've been secretly want to play like right away.
Yeah, it's another one of those things where a lot of people are upset that there's another HD remaster coming out, but I kind of want to play Saints Row 4 again. And that goes exactly against what I was just talking about, where it's like, I don't want to go back to another, but it's Saints Row 4.
I know. I just the Saints are just awesome.
Yeah. It's just so much, like, just running up buildings. That's all I want to do again. It's so good. Dimebag in chat says, "Hey Boston, you said you want to stream PS2 games. Why not stream a game you haven't played before?" It's actually PS3 games, and I started playing Tales of Xillia, but I got about half an hour into it, and I wasn't in the right spot to sink my teeth into like a real JRPG, so. I have Tales of Xillia 1 and 2 sitting here next to me, so I figured that's a set of games I haven't played yet, so I might as well sink my teeth in both of those. And I hear they're both interesting, so I might as well bring everybody along for the ride. There are so many PS3 games that I never went through and played. Like, I have Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus, Beyond Two Souls, Atelier Rorona, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5, and then I just grabbed Katamari Forever. It's probably going to be my stream test, because I haven't played a Katamari game in a while. So why not play the second worst one?
Yeah.
The one with frame rate issues.
I kind of thought about after we talked about Katamari Damacy the other day, or last week. I was thinking about throwing Beautiful Katamari in again for.
Is that the 360 one?
Yeah,
that one was pretty good.
It was okay.
I think my favorite one is still the first one, because it didn't have any of those dumb levels where it's like, you're a snowman, you need to don't get anything that's hot. It's like, no, I just want to roll up everything. Don't tell me what to not roll up and roll up.
Just give me a time limit and a size I gotta hit, and we're good.
Can I roll up continents? Can I do that? That would be my preference. Katamari Forever was actually really good about a lot of that. It just had really weird frame rate hitches. 34 levels, yeah. It's huge. I'm hoping I can find some time to stream that later today. Supports trophies. Oh no. Oh right. This King of all Cosmos hits his head and loses his memory and is replaced by Robo King that just wants to destroy the galaxy. These stupid games and their stupid stories. I guess since I have a 60 gig fat PS3, I can stream PS2 games from it too. And PS1 games.
Does that thing still work?
Yeah, this is the only PS3 I've ever had, and it still works. I got it sitting here right next to me. Big old beast here. I wonder if I can turn it on. See if anyone can hear the fan. No, of course it's not going to be loud today. Thanks, PS3. Making me look like a liar. It's so weird going back to the PS3 after having a PS4 as your main console. Because, like, you can't run the store at the same time you run the OS. Like, there's just weird stuff. My PS3 actually only needed one firmware update, and that actually went well, Jay-Z. Surprisingly. That would not be the most exciting stream test, just plugging in the PS3 and watching the progress bar for firmware update crawl.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Come on, Hannah. Getting hungry. Getting hungry. Anybody send us any more emails? Nope. Ooh. Ugh, so riveting. Whew.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. What am I doing here?
The other Jay-Z says, I grabbed DuckTales this week and that had to update. That drives me crazy about some digital distribution where you can't download the most up-to-date version right out of the box. Like, they seem to be doing that on PS4 now, but, like, I just don't understand. The other Jay-Z in cap says, just update to the game on the server side, come on. I mean, there has to be some reason why they're not. I mean, I that's the only reason I can think is that there's some horrible server side thing that prevents them from doing so, but come on.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
All right, we ready to kick this off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. TVGP.
We're doing something.
Right.
Oh,
We are,
so-
right? I didn't miss the second half.
Yeah. So I forgot to talk about this before we started live streaming, but I'm going to start putting more news stories in here that are hopefully more of conversation pieces rather than
Just regurgitating
1, 2,
the
3, 4, 5. So,
yeah. Just read what's on the prompter, Ron.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yeah.
Who put exclamation point in there?
Oh. Alrighty.
All right.
All right.
Alright. Alright, you ready?
Yup.
Alright, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases. This week, for the week of January 12th, 2015, Joe Danger 2, the movie for the PlayStation Vita.
Joe Danger 2 was pretty fun.
Yeah?
So you should go get that if you have a Vita and you like Joe Danger.
That's
All
right.
right.
More
Watch
of that
yourself.
game. Yeah. All right, moving on to news stories. First one we have up here, one of the two big stories this week. Archive.org adds over 2,400 emulated games to its site.
Yeah.
Software Curator says it's running an EM DOS box in browser with no need for a plugin. I tried that last night, and surprisingly, it works really well. You don't have to download or install anything, and I was playing Aladdin on the Genesis in Chrome.
Nice. Controller or no controller?
I did not have a controller at the moment.
Okay. It looks like it supports them, so
Allegedly, it does. Yes.
nice.
So There's a lot of crazy stuff. I just pulled up a couple recommendations here while I was looking through. They did not have Toe Jam and Earl for the Genesis. That's okay.
A shame.
You can get that for about 50 cents on Steam.
Yeah.
They have the Oregon Trail, the original one for PC.
Oh my gosh.
Sonic 2.
Ooh.
Go play that. They have the original Mega Man. Really hard, but you should probably try that at some point. And Wolfenstein 3D.
Ooh.
They have 2,395 other games up there, and it's some crazy stuff too. Like there's some stuff. They have some big stuff on PC like Commander Keen 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
But then they have really weird old PC stuff. So a lot of those aren't going to be very interesting. But they have NES, they have Genesis, they have Super NES, they have Game Gear. They have some more obscure stuff than I was thinking they were gonna put up on there.
Yeah.
You know what's a weird game I kind of wanted to play again? Was Terminal Velocity.
Oh man, that game was weird.
That game came with the demo disc for Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah. Let's see if they have it here on the site.
So the first thing I notice about this is that the person in charge of all this is called a software curator. Can I just say that's the coolest job title I've heard in a while?
Yeah. I save video games.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like I can't load this site right now because it's probably far too popular. There's too many people listening to the show, clearly.
Yes, indeed.
That's not the case. All right, let's move on to the next news story here. The second big news story here. Sony has unveiled the PlayStation Now subscription program. So
finally,
there's two plans: either the 1 month plan, which is $20 a month, or a 3 month plan for $45.
Which is not terrible.
Not bad. They have over 100 PS3 games.
Okay, that's pretty good.
They claim, which is a combination of it's a combination of like physical retail disc ones and then downloadable games. So they have a pretty good collection of games there. I am surprised that they didn't roll this into PlayStation Plus or give some sort of PlayStation Plus
platinum
discount.
Status or something.
But I guess since you need PS Plus on the PS4 to play online, that's not really an incentive. This subscription isn't an incentive to get people into PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that enough time has passed since the PlayStation Now closed beta that my NDA doesn't really exist anymore. When I was in the closed beta for PlayStation Now, it really worked. Like, it legitimately worked, and I was using wireless on my PS4, and it worked. I didn't have frame drops. I didn't have any issues. And it basically emulates a PS3.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's crazy.
I recently, when we were doing the game club for Deus Ex Human Revolution, I was like, well, I can't really be sitting at my PC all the time. Plus, I don't want to be sitting at my PC all the time because that's what I do for work.
Right.
So I tried it on the Vita. I tried to play Deus Ex Human Revolution there. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great with those controls, but like it worked, which was more than surprising. And looking at this list of games, like it's not bad, but it's not like, I mean, you've got like Ben 10, Omniverse 2 next to like, Blaze Blue.
Yeah, and they have some good stuff on there. Like they have Catherine. Catherine is like $3 to rent it for a day. Those are pretty good prices. I think the problem is, I think the main problem, and I am more than sure that Sony is working on this, is for $20 a month or $45 for 3 months. If you put PS2 and PS1 games on there, that's a no-brainer for a lot of people. Because right now, if you look at... So I have a copy of Tales of Xillia 2 for the PS3 that I purchased new recently for $20.
Okay.
That game is going to take me probably a considerable amount of time to play, probably more than a month.
Yeah.
So at this point, you could probably get better by buying a used PS3 and used or new cheap copies of these games rather than doing PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
So, like, I think their biggest challenge is how do you get the average gamer? Because, like, Infamous 2 is on there, and I know Knobs hasn't played it.
I haven't played it either.
So, like, that would be a perfect place to say, like, all right, if you had a PS4, you don't want to, like, dig out your PS3 and dig out all these copies. You could just play it on PS Now, and, like, the PS Now version shows up in your PS4 bar, and then it just fires up PlayStation Now. Like, it works really well, but what's going to stop someone from just buying an old copy of Infamous 2 and playing it? You know, how are you going to get John Q. Street Fighter fan in to play something that they never played on the PS3? Because that's old stuff. Like, how are you going to get them in to play, you know, even Uncharted 1? You know, how instead of, you know, not even, that wasn't even a shame on Knobs, but just play Uncharted 2. It's the best one. It just seems too...
Oh, yeah, might as well put a bag over my head at this point.
Just a PlayStation 3 bag. You know, I think that's the problem is, for $20, it's not an impulse. And it's not something that you can ignore. If it's, you know, if it was $10 a month, that's about the same amount of money you're paying for Netflix streaming.
Yeah.
That's an amount of money that the majority of people that have a console, especially the PS4, they can ignore that cost.
Yes.
You know, even if they didn't play a game this month, fine. But, you know, there's not the full PS3 catalog. Sony is still pulling that same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's no PS1 and PS2 games, which the last time they tried to do that, it was just like Symphony of Night and Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. It's like, great. But I want, like, N2O. You know, like, I want the game that I have and nobody's played, but I'm the only person that's going to play it this month if you look at the metrics, you know. I just don't know.
Yeah, just that weird stuff that just slips through the cracks. Like, oh yeah, I remember trying. I want to check that. I don't want to play Killer 7 again. Like,
I want to try Incredible Crisis because I never played that. You know, like, that came out for the PS1 and you can't find a copy now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, instead of illegally downloading it from somewhere and emulating it, you know, there's no real legitimate way of doing it.
Well, I mean, if they put that stuff out on a reasonable price structure, they will cut piracy completely out of the mix.
Yep.
Like, most of the people that are doing the piracy is trying to get the stuff that you can't get.
Yep.
And make that portal easier to get into, and you have a gold mine.
Well, especially if on the PS4 you make it work with your currently baked-in streaming technology.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm just going to play through Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 right now.
And I'm going to stream it.
It's emulated through my PS Now and my PS4, and my PS4 just streams, and it just works.
Yeah,
like,
and it should.
Yeah, totally. And I think if they can get to the point where they tie all that stuff together, I think that starts becoming a pretty easy no-brainer.
Yeah. Right now, my question is, why isn't PS1 up there? Is it a licensing thing, or I can't believe it's a tech thing at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it's probably a fairly minor tech thing at the moment because when you look at PS Now, it's emulating a PS3. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not even just emulating the game. Like, as soon as you hit the touchpad, it pulls up the XMB. Yeah. And you're, like, in the XMB. And it's like, oh, this isn't... Oh, okay, that's much different from what I thought I was doing.
So that's about what I expected, though. I mean, that's the best way to do it. You're going to run the OS in a virtualized environment, and you're basically going to remote desktop into it.
Right. But, you know, how do you do that with a PS1 or a PS2? Or do you say, like, all right, now that I'm going to emulate a 60 gig launch PS3, and now I'm going to virtually put an ISO into this PS3 that I'm virtualizing. You know, like it seems like
it's real crazy.
I'm sure there's a team of very smart engineers at Sony figuring it out, because if you can open up floodgates and say, we have every PS1 game that we're licensed to provide.
Yeah.
You know, and now we have 200 PS2 games, and it's still $20 a month.
I think that's where they're going to hit a snag, is the PS2 stuff.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, because you know virtualized hardware is not going to be able to run that as effectively as it should be able to.
Modern PCs have trouble running some PS2 games emulated.
Yeah, that Emotion Engine chip is ridiculously hard to replicate in software.
Yeah. So I feel like once they start adding, I feel like they had to get Gaikai in, and they had to get people using it, and they had to put some games into it and just launch it. And I'm sure they knew when they took this small segment of games that has grown significantly, that they put it out and they said, all right, now we just start putting stuff into it. Everybody's saying we need a subscription plan. Let's just do that. Okay, now we got that. Let's start pumping more games. They just have to start growing it. And I feel like they did with PlayStation Plus, I'm hoping that there's a point where it's like, oh, you don't have PlayStation Now? Which, I mean, you can just play this game over, like, oh, you want to play, Mark of Cree. That's on PlayStation Now, man. What are you doing? Just go play it over there. I hope they get to that point like they did with PlayStation Plus, where it's just
that's a good reference, man. That's one of those games because it's what you didn't play Pop 2008, like
right, exactly. Yes, and hopefully, speaking of that, hopefully that when Microsoft can get their worst kept secret streaming technology out, because you can't. There's no emulator available for the original Xbox.
No, there is not.
Nobody is working on one, which is
ridiculous. Okay, there is an emulator, but it only runs Halo.
Well, great, thanks.
Yeah,
I want to play Otogi too, but nobody else does, so I'm screwed.
I do too. I understand.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the problem is that that's the only game people remember from the original Xbox. Yeah. And when you look at even the Xbox 360, someone can make an emulator of that runs the 3 Gears games.
Yeah.
And most people are like, that's all I wanted. And then it's sort of like, like Knobs mentioned Prince of Persia 2008. I want to play that game again.
God, I want to play Ninja Gaiden Black right now.
Right. Well, you can't. I'm sorry.
Nope.
You can put it in your 360 if you still have one of them plugged in. Yeah. But, I'm hoping that going forward, it's sad when Nintendo is doing virtualization and backwards compatibility better than Microsoft is.
Yeah, that's depressing.
So hopefully all of them can kind of get together and get their stuff together so we don't have to worry about this anymore. We don't have to worry about, I want someone to play Ninja Gaiden Black because it's one of the best action adventure games and best character action games ever made.
Yeah.
They can't. So hopefully we get to this point where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next news story here. Valve says they have a large GDC presence with Steam machines, quote, front and center, end quote. They're also claiming that the Steam controller is finalized, but did not provide any further details.
That's a total Valve response.
There's also been rumors that they're not going to call them Steam machines anymore. They're just going to call them like home theater PCs, or like living room PCs, to try and get the Steam machine name away from here just a computer you put in your entertainment stand and it just you just use it. I'm going to be really surprised. I'm going to be really interested to see. So I don't know how much you guys saw about CES that happened this last week.
Not a lot.
But Intel unveiled a new computer on a chip that has basically it looks like a USB stick, but it has an HDMI connector on the end.
I did see that.
And somebody brought up the great point. Like, either you can run it on Linux, or for like $50 more, it runs Windows 8.1.
Okay.
It has enough RAM and it has enough stuff in it. But someone brought up the great point that you can use that to run Steam OS. Mm-hmm. And with how Steam works now is basically you use that small machine to mirror your gaming PC's Steam, which I've done before with my laptop, and works really well.
It's phenomenal. But I did it over a friend's house this past weekend, and it was really, really easy and really, really well done.
It just works. Like, it just shows you all the games you have installed on your other machine, and then you just play them. And it figures out how to do all of that. So for this like $150 stick that you plug into your HDMI thing, it has a USB cable, a USB port on it. Plug that 360 controller right in there, fire up Steam OS, and you're streaming games within your house from your gaming PC. So
which is crazy.
Why would I need a Steam machine?
Why would you need another box?
Right. Why not just free up an HDMI port on the back of my machine? So I'm kind of curious to see what Valve is presenting, because the original controller, I used that and it was fine, but it's, I used the original like 2 touch wheel scrolly thing version. It was fine, but it's such a different thing. It's such a different beast that I wonder how much they're going to make it like the Xbox 360 controller. truthfully.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the de facto PC controller now. So the other Jay-Z brings up a good point in chat. He says, because Steam isn't a well-recognized brand for gamers, ... I think it is, but I wonder how much... You know how Valve just kind of wants to make something and then just kind of turn it loose into the wild? I wonder if they're trying to do that with Steam OS.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, look, the OS is running it, but you can just run on any PC. We encourage hardware manufacturers to make something that is small and fits in an entertainment stand, but just don't call it a Steam machine, because maybe that has the wrong connotations. Hannah looks very confused about something.
My display just blacked out for a second, and I don't know why.
Well, great.
Yeah, that was
We're talking crap about
and
Steam
it
machines.
did it again.
Valve is
And it's
angry
doing
at
it. Oh, boy. Hold on. Oh, I don't know what it's doing. Continue.
All right, continuing on to the next news story. There's a rumor that avatars might get a facelift and return for the Xbox One. There's two recent job descriptions talking about bringing avatars to smartphone platforms along with the Xbox One. When I read that, I kind of laughed. But does the Xbox One even need avatars now? Like,
No.
is that something we need to just kind of leave with the 360 and just say, well, we had Rare, thanks for the avatars, but we've kind of had our time.
Yeah.
What would you even want for avatars on the Xbox One? Like, where would they even fit?
Don't know.
I mean, it was cute and cool when it first, and the moments passed for that.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I was looking into it, Rare released avatars on the 360 in a firmware update in 2008.
Yeah.
So we're now 6 years and change away from avatars. And I feel like in the beginning, like, all of us were really happy about, okay, I'm going to get this cool thing from this game or unlock it or buy it from the marketplace and put it on my avatar so my friends can see that I have this skag from Borderlands 2 following me around. How cool is that thing? I got a claptrap. But
I still think I have Stay Puff.
Yeah, but like that was kind of it. Like where else? What do you? And I've had a really hard time trying to figure out where do you go with avatars for the Xbox One when you've already finished the OS, and I feel like it feels like from using the OS that it's a very deliberate choice to remove them and kind of get like a more mature OS. So
just make it usable is pretty much all you're really doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
avatars
want
never
people
really-
there spending time there. You want them playing games.
Well, avatars never really made the UI more usable. It was just, look at this cool coat that I got from Alan Wake and this
Yeah.
skag. And in the Xbox One, they have such a usability problem that they are admittedly being very aggressive about fixing. But, between that and between them, the avatars were always really went hand in hand with Kinect. Because you're playing as your avatar with a Kinect, and you're moving and your avatar's moving. But now that they're really not deprecating the Kinect, but they're really not focusing on it, especially with the stuff that we've seen with the SDK, and allowing you to disable certain Kinect features to get more CPU power for your games. Like, what do you need them for?
Who knows?
Yeah. And the last news story here is a really weird one. Riot Games is creating its own network for League of Legends.
Like a Battle.net sort of network?
No, like maybe working with ISPs in US and Canada to create a physical network.
Oh, wow.
So basically they're working with ISPs to reduce ping and packet loss for League of Legends players by creating direct networks between League of Legends data centers and ISP core routers.
Wow.
I got some issues with this.
It's really weird, but I was wondering why they were going to go and do that, until I looked at the numbers. There were 67 million League of Legends players last month.
Yeah, and that's great. It still sort of violates the core tenet of net neutrality, though.
That's
Um,
2% of the country, or whatever. That's a lot of people, dude.
Yeah, bigger picture, though. You know,
I think it's really. I think the net neutrality one is really interesting. I think if I was in Riot's position, I would worry about becoming Internet 2. Because
yes,
nobody uses Internet 2.
yeah.
Most people don't know that exists.
Oh, it totally exists.
It's fast because there's nobody on it. I think it's really surprising. I think it's really interesting, and I think it's not really addressing the problem with League of Legends. The problem with League of Legends isn't that there's ping or there's lag time or there's packet loss. It's just that you have the most toxic community on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, above Xbox Live, above 4chan, above any cesspit of the internet you can find. Sitting at the top of that turd mountain is League of Legends. And spitting on everybody else. Hannah, don't write that down.
Come on.
You know, like I
Turnabout's
think
pretty good.
I think that's a larger problem. It's not, hey, let's break net neutrality because League of Legends players don't have a 20 millisecond ping, they have a 35. I don't care.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of funny, too, because they're like, yeah, we've talked to a lot of ISPs, and quite frankly, they don't really care yet. But we're working on them. It's like, of course they don't care.
Yeah.
They're caring about the one person who's downloaded 800 terabytes of movies this month, and they're blowing up the whole neighborhood's bandwidth. They care about the person who's using, their bandwidth cap is 500 gigs, and they use 3 terabytes in a week.
Yeah.
They care about those. They don't care about League of Legends players.
I don't know. If they were going to do like a peering solution, like with
Sure.
like Netflix or YouTube does, that I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Because you're not but creating your own network and working with the ISP to create this direct pipe, I really don't know.
It's weird.
It bothers
it's
me
weird
on a real base level.
Yeah, I don't know. Slug Jones in chat says, I work for an ISP and we don't care. LOL, I kid. But really, they don't care. They don't care about gamers because they're not using. I think a lot of people who play games think that they use so much bandwidth. They don't use any bandwidth.
Nope.
Your response times are very important, of course, but
absolutely.
Other than that, you don't use a lot of bandwidth. Your significant other streaming Netflix in the other room. That's the person using the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So, weird.
Yeah, blame it on the girlfriends.
Yeah, no, not what I said at all. We love all of our listeners. All right, moving on to emails. We got an email from Michael, a.k.a. Chino. Says, hey guys, had a quick question for you. I've noticed that sometimes games are given different names in other regions. Are there any game titles that are much cooler elsewhere that you would prefer, in your opinion, over the American title? Go ahead.
Fahrenheit versus Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fahrenheit is a way cooler name for that game.
His very first example here is it's Resident Evil here, it's Biohazard in Japan.
Yeah.
I think that's way cooler.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have anybody saying residential evil, because that still happens.
Wow, you almost got a spit take out of me for that one.
We would have gotten that on camera. He also mentions Primal is in other regions named Saints. Didn't play enough about that game to know how cool that is. And then he mentions Haunting Ground, that kind of creepy and really weird PS2 game. In other regions, it's named Demento. That's a cooler...
Demento's pretty solid.
But it also sounds like maybe a 70s horror movie.
Yeah.
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 The only one that's the biggest one that sticks out to me is Indigo Prophecy Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit's way cooler name.
Fahrenheit is way cool, and I like that box art for Fahrenheit that has all like the hash marks on the wall in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, back in when we were young, there was always Dragon Quest versus Dragon Warrior, and I never really cared.
Yeah.
The two were close enough to really. There weren't a lot of Genesis games that got renamed.
There's like Another World and Out of This World.
Yeah, you know, those are another ones that are pretty close.
Yeah. Bully in the UK was called Canis Canem Edit.
Interesting. That was the subtitle for the game.
Yeah, that's like I want to know what that means in Latin now because that's clearly Latin.
I don't remember.
Come on, Google Translate.
Sadly, it probably will.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, I can't think of any. I mean, he kind of listed Resident Evil there, so you know that's kind of the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah.
Well, while we're going to this other tweet, we'll think more about it. Almighty Tooth tweets in.
Holy
says,
crap! What's up, Tooth?
He says, combine your favorite battle system with your favorite character progression to make the best RPG ever created.
Crackdown, battle progression.
Okay.
What was the other one?
Battle system with character progression.
Battle system.
So character progression from Crackdown is pretty good. Filling a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, filling bars by doing the actual action you want to improve, which is brilliant. Man, battle system.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I kind of like the rings and Lost Odyssey. Like for some reason, that just even though it was always quick time events, but it felt satisfying when you landed perfects in that game.
You get more agility orbs the closer you get to the center of the ring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Could you imagine that sound as you come into bing ding 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 ding?
Yeah.
Oh,
so good.
I would take the Tails battle system and stack it with the Materia system.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, my dream was always the only reason it's not my perfect RPG system is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is because of the way limit breaks work and leveling works with that random wheel.
Oh.
If they hadn't done that, it would have been the perfect RPG.
Yeah, that does make it a little bit odd.
Yeah, so mad about that.
Tooth actually continues his tweets with one that I think he just plucked directly out of my sleeping brain. He says the answer is Metal Gear Acid 2, which is one of my favorite games ever, but with more playable characters and Final Fantasy Tactics job system. Which, yup. I can't stop drooling. And he says, better idea, let's all talk about how awesome Metal Gear is in general. 2 is the best in the main line, which I agree with, and Acid 2 is the best spin-off, which I also agree with.
Ghost Battle's pretty good, guys.
Ghost Babel is like the one I haven't played.
Okay.
I still haven't gotten around to. That's the Game Boy Color one, right?
Yeah, for what it is, pretty good.
I heard it's actually legitimately good. It's the same thing I tell people about Acid 2.
Yeah.
It's a Metal Gear Solid game that is also a card game, and it's way better than all of that sounds.
Is that on the PlayStation Store?
Yeah. No, it's not playable. It's not downloadable on the PSP either. It's only available physically on the PSP.
That's a bummer.
I do not understand why that is. But I would take an Acid 3 on Vita. That would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
The other JZ tweets in and says, played through Infamous First Light yesterday and liked it, but it felt small. Does the regular game open up the city more? I have not played First Light yet, but Infamous Second Son is fairly big.
Yeah, it's a good sized game.
It's not overly big, and the fast travel around the world is pretty good. So it's I felt like it was a good size. It wasn't. No area was really wasted.
No, not at all. To me, it's the perfect open world game. It's not too big. Like, there's areas in Dragon Age that are bigger than the entire game of
like the hinterlands.
Infamous.
But some of it is a little empty.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. The other JZ says, there's a tower in the distance that they don't let you get to.
Yeah, that stays pretty consistent until the end of that game.
Oh, that's torture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's kind of two big towers you can get up
Oh yeah, there
get
are.
up on. There's one very early in the game, and then there's one late in the game for story reasons. And that's pretty satisfying to climb up to the top too.
Yeah.
That's a nice capstone on the end of that game.
God, the end of that game is so good.
That game was really good. I really liked 1 and 2, and I did not expect that third one to be good, but
Yeah.
man, very surprising. But that's all the tweets and emails we have this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. You can find out more at tvgp.tv. Email us, tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp, and everything else is on the right-hand side of the page.
And don't forget to join the forums. Please mark yourselves on the map that is in the off-topic thread. Come play some games with us. That is Monday and Friday night at 10 p.m. EST for Battlefield 4 shenanigans. And pre-game on Mondays will be Worms. I wish I knew which version of Worms that is, but
I just had it up.
it's Worms. Thursday night's PC game night, Steam game night, and then Wednesday night is
PS4.
PS4.
I think we're still trying to get that together.
PlayStation game night thing.
And
Yep.
don't forget to suggest some game that will follow up Battlefield 4.
Yes.
The reign will have to end at some point.
Yeah, at some point, because we might murders.
Yeah.
We might murders.
Yeah.
TVGP Game Club, I'm going to be putting up a thread this week explaining some of the changes we're going to make that me and Scott have sort of talked about. It's going to be a little bit different. I think it's going to be a lot more effective. It's just, we're voting on too many games. It's sort of what it comes down to. And we want to make it a little more directly community involved. So I will be posting the info for that in the forums this week.
And Dimebag315 in chat says it's Worms Battlefield.
There it is.
Don't forget you can watch us.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget you can watch us stream this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. That's every Sunday at 1 p.m. PST. Thank you for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Laters.
Peace.
I don't have any titles.
It's actually Worms Battlegrounds, not to correct him. but that
Battlegrounds.
is-
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's
I
fine.
feel like you would have remembered.
Worms Battle
if it was
something.
Battlefield.
There's probably only one Worms game on Xbox One. It hasn't been out for that long.
Yeah. I got a few titles, and of course the other Jay-Z has a giant list of them as well. I'm going to go through mine here first. We've got Hello, in the year 2525, Dog Nose, Battlefield Bookends, Go Play with the Big Box, Respectable Round, I Need a New Tiger, Box of Glass, Thrown a Boot at a Door, Dragon of the Exalted Plains, and I think actually that's pretty much it. So let's read the other Jay-Z's titles here. We've got High Boomer, A Round of Worms, Gauntlet Throne, the MNGN Trophy, and Throne is of course spelled Throne. Manic Field 4, A Server for Our Peeps, I Need a New Tiger, I Really Want a New Tiger, Knowing How to Play the Wind, Can't Hack Fast Enough, Here's a Box Full of Glass, I Love Chucking Guys Off Roofs, the karaoke is surprisingly fun, We Were Dating, taking off, I'm not going to say that, but taking off Emma Stone, the other word for that, that great old crotchety guy, After I Respect My Tree, okay, Dump Damage, Another Interface Weirdness, Go Sit on the Throne and Judge Someone, Too Useful to Murder, Romancing the Diplomat, Meeting the Guy at the Place, Pro Tips for Fighting Dragons, A Limited Number of Dragons, 160 Hours of Inquiry, 10 to 15 frames, You Can Sit Down and Beat Them, Now with More Egyptian Tombs,
Naturally.
Where Do You Go with Avatars,
Naturally.
The Code I Got from Alan Wake, Sitting on Top of Turd Mountain, of course,
Naturally.
and Hey, Let's Break Net Neutrality, and Blame It on the Girlfriends.
So I wrote down Dragon of the Exalted Plains and We Were Dating?
I'm a big fan of Dragon of the Exalted Plains.
Yeah.
That's
feel
a
like
good one.
if
That's
anything
such
would
a
make
cool location name, the Exalted Plains.
if anything
It's-
would make like a cool like metal black metal parody T-shirt.
Oh no, dude, that is a power metal T-shirt all the way.
That's true.
That is sword and sorcery. That is. Look up Rhapsody of Fire. The lead singer looks like Weird Al. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
They actually had to change their name from Rhapsody to Rhapsody of Fire for legal reasons.
Jeez. Yeah, you can't have a real player coming in and saying, "No, we got Rhapsody."
Yeah.
All right, starting in.
Is real player still a thing?
Yeah, remember we looked it up a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
real
they
player?
actually have a cloud service that's really good.
Yeah, you can actually download
Oh,
that.
I'll go see if my music match code still works.
Oh God,
Jeez.
Jesus!
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 377 for January 12th, 2015. Dragon of the Exalted Plains.
Bring the thunder.
Touring with Iced Earth this fall.
With Iced Earth.
Iced Earth is fantastic.
Oh, they are, but man. Iced Earth. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Later.
Doing this.